Josh Allen resigns with the Bills. 6 years for $258 million. His huge 2020 pays off. After, not having the best start to his career, he had a huge 2020, 4,544 yards, 37 touchdowns through the air, along with a lot of rushing yards, a lot of rushing touchdowns, a two-way threat. Josh Allen, who always finishes runs, who puts his shoulder down, who does the risky play. It all came together last season, and he had a great season. He was an MVP candidate. He led me to a fantasy title. He led a bunch of other people to fantasy titles. He's a real deal, in my opinion. There were some people that were saying that it would be risky to give him a huge extension after just one good year because, you never know if it could have just been a fluke, And I see where people are coming from, but I think I've seen enough from Josh Allen. And one of the main reasons he improved so much is because he was making better decisions, and his deep ball accuracy significantly improved. If you watched any of the Josh Allen games last year, you would see that whatever telecast was covering the game, they would always point to the improved technique that he had on his deep ball throw. They had like a machine that could basically use a bunch of repetition. You see his throwing motion and see what he's doing wrong, and then they would analyze and tell him like how he's supposed to throw the ball, and you see the difference of how he was throwing the ball the first few years in the NFL and how he threw it last year, and it's just made all the difference. That deep ball accuracy was just 100 times better, and also the addition of Stephon Diggs helped a lot. So Josh Allen, I think he's going to continue to be one of these top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL. So I really like this contract. I like it for the Bills. I like it for Josh Allen. I like it for my fantasy team, but I'm probably not going to get in this year just because he's probably going to be a very, very early in the early rounds, and I like to wait on my quarterbacks. But his deal low-key looks better than Mahomes. That's one of the things that's been talked about since his deal came out. Allen gets more money up front. The contract is for a shorter time. Allen has more outs where he could restructure his contract earlier than Mahomes. Mahomes did the Chiefs a solid. Like, I don't know what he was thinking. He had probably the most leverage out of any quarterback going into a new contract of ever. Like, he had won an MVP. He had won a Super Bowl. He was young. Everyone likes him. He's charismatic. He has like highlight plays. He goes viral on Twitter with the throwing it lefty, throwing it with almost a knee down. Like, the stuff he does, like, no one else could do. And he ended up with a really good contract, $500 million, $500 million. But he had less guaranteed at the signing than Allen, 63 to 100. And Allen just gets a lot of the money up front, and he has more outs, and he could restructure his deal. And now that gambling's money is going to come in, the cap is going to be just bigger and bigger. So if Allen restructures early, he could just potentially get more and more money. But I'm just a fan. I'm a free agent fan. I'm just happy to see these guys get paid. I'm sure Mahomes is not really losing any sleep, and I'm sure he's doing fine. $500,000. He has stake in the Kansas City baseball team. I'm pretty sure he's doing other investment. The man is doing good for himself. I'm sure the Chiefs worked out with one of their sponsors too, where you're like, okay, we'll throw you some money. One of our sponsors would throw you more money, so so you even out, so you're good, so you're always, happy. You're always right. But yeah, a lot of people are talking about their contracts, comparing it to Mahomes. I'm just happy for both guys getting paid. And if Mahomes has a deal, has a problem with this deal, I'm sure the Chiefs will restructure it. I'm sure they'll work with him. The Chiefs are not stupid either. They're not going to upset Mahomes. If Mahomes goes to them, he's like, hey, you know what? I need to be the highest paid player. I'm the best quarterback in the league. I'm sure the Chiefs would adjust. And I'm sure Mahomes is fine. So all this contract comparison, I get it. Is what we do as, sports fans, as, all these sports talk show. I get it. But as far as myself, I'm happy for Allen. I'm happy for Mahomes. And I'm just excited to see them, develop. Hopefully they keep building a rivalry. The Chiefs beat the Bills pretty handily in the playoffs. The Bills made it late, push, but nothing really scary. But I do see the Bills being a contender. Their division should get a little bit harder too with the Miami Dolphins coming up. We'll see what Tua does. We'll see how Zach Wilson does with the Jets. Um, but yeah, like I'm excited for Allen. It's great to see a quarterback developed. It's always great to see them just be like amazing from the beginning. Like a Justin Herbert, just take the reins week one, thrown into a game that you didn't even know you're gonna start, and just be amazing. But it's also like really really nice when you see a player developed in the NFL, when you see a player that couldn't throw a deep ball, when you see a player that made a lot of dumb decisions, and when they finally get it together, and you're like, okay, like that's dope. Like look at his footage from year one to year three to year four, and you see a totally different player. You know, these coaches are really doing their job. It's just amazing. One of the things I really used to like playing on Madden was like franchise mode and developing players. I always liked those game modes, whether it was FIFA or 2K or Madden. I always liked playing the longer seasons, like not just one season, but like developing a team and drafting and developing the players. That was one of the most entertaining parts for me. Not just the gameplay, not just like a game, like any individual game. It was more of seeing like whatever team you picked developed over time. That, I don't know, it just brought a lot of gratitude and satisfaction just seeing you draft someone in the first round or second round, and you do all the boosts, you do all the attribute raises, the off-season training, and you see your player that you drafted go from like a 66 to a 76 to an 80 to being an all-star to being the best player in the league. All of that was really fun for me back in the day when I really played a lot. But in real life, I think it's even better to see it like in real life or see it live, see player just go from like, oh my God, like you could tell that the coaches are having trouble or like are being cautious with the plays that they call. You see the Bills, oh man, 3rd and 8. Let's go for a run because we don't trust our quarterback. Or, even 2nd and 10. Like we threw a little pass in the first down and now we're in, 2nd and long. And let's just run 2 run plays or run a draw or something to not put so much pressure on our quarterback. And now you see the Bills just open up the whole playbook, give the reins to Josh Allen, and he's in complete command of the offense. And it's amazing to see as part of one of the joys of watching the game, just seeing players develop from year in, year out. And you get to see the players that really, put in the grind and put the time in to watch tape, to develop. And I think Josh Allen is one of those players that you could just tell this man's been working. He's been working on his game, and it paid off in a big way. So I'm happy for Josh Allen. 6 years, $258 million. I tip my hat to Josh Allen. And, I wish the Bills the best this season. We'll see how they do. The AFC is very competitive. We'll see how the Chiefs do. The Chargers should be strong. The Ravens, the Browns should be good. We'll see what the Colts do. There's a lot. The Titans. Oh my God, there's a lot of good teams in the AFC. But Josh Allen does not have to worry about his contract anymore. He gets re-signed. 6 years, $258 million. What do you guys think about this deal? Should the Bills have done it? Should they have waited a little bit longer? See it out. See if Josh Allen could, start stacking these seasons together. Personally, I thought it was a good decision.